Before we start, we would like to say thank you first to Sir Bruce for agreeing to have this interview with us in the team in Manila, uh, to ask you a few questions relating to your work, specifically in prosthetics. So it's also Exceed's goal to educate the Filipino people more about prosthetics, what it takes to be a prosthetist also. So one main part of that is actually getting to know more about the components and actually the patient to understand more on why this certain component is actually better for them for their everyday lives. So, sir, thank you in behalf of Exceed here in Manila.
Great. No, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm going to enjoy chatting to you guys for the next while. Yeah.
Yes. So to start off, can you tell me something about yourself?
Sure. Okay. So my background is I got into the prosthetics industry, I guess, through my grandfather. He was an amputee. He had a agricultural accident with one of the old machines that used to cut the crops, and he became entangled in that, and he was a below-knee amputee. So this was the first thing that made me interested in prosthetics. And then later I moved on and I studied at the National Centre for Prosthetics and Orthotics in Glasgow, Scotland. And that was a 4-year degree course. So I graduated from the university in 1992. So that's almost 30 years. Next year will be my 30-year anniversary in prosthetics. So after that, I was working in clinical practice in different locations around the UK. So my first job was in a very famous centre, Queen Mary's University Hospital in Roehampton, London. And I had spells in other national health centres in Leeds, in Swansea, in Bristol. And then in the late 90s, I moved across into a more sales and technical role, and also a commercial role working with partners overseas distributing prosthetic products. So that's a little bit about my background. And so since 96, 97, I've been doing the technical and commercial role.
Yes, and that is with Blatchford already.
Well, it's been with Blatchford for the last 5 years. And prior to that, it was another UK company that manufactured upper limb components called Steeper, who you may have heard of as well. So Steeper first, and then for the last 5 years, Blatchford.
So in relation with your work with Blatchford, so can you explain more on what do you actually do?
Okay, we could be here for a while. I'll try and keep it as short as possible. So I guess my primary role is looking after our sales of products to our distributors in Europe, in the Middle East market, and also some parts of Asia. I work closely with a colleague of mine who is doing the same job as me, but we split all the territories between us. So I'm mostly in Europe, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. And we've got a network of distributors that all need support, all need training, all need help to correctly prescribe, correctly fit, deal with technical issues with our products. So I'm doing that for a large part of my time. But then there's also the back office work that needs to be done. So, you need to be checking technical manuals, you need to be preparing catalogs, you need to be working with the education group, with the R&D group, working on new products, finance team, chasing payments from our customers. There's many different hats you have to put on during the week to make sure that everything's running smoothly. But what I enjoy most is dealing with our end customers. So the front end of the business, which is, making an impact to amputees' lives, improving their outlook and giving them, hope for the future.
Yes. So in relation with that, yes.
And that's probably what you guys enjoy the most as well, working with the patient and coming up with great solutions and helping them to get back to normal life.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And also in relation to that, how do you feel on moving more on the management role in marketing, coming from on the clinical work and actually getting on with the patients?
Yeah, well, I still do have patient interaction when I'm out traveling and visiting clinics. It's just not to the same level that it was in the past. In the beginning of my career, you would start work in the clinic at 8 o'clock and see patients all day. And now it's, the interaction's much less, but it's still there and it's still highly enjoyable. And I'm very happy in my role. I'm very pleased with where I am. But I know that if anything changes in the future, it'd be nice also to go back to full-time clinical work. I think I'm quite lucky to have this possibility.
Yes. Yeah. So I think for the next question, Celine will ask you.
Okay.
So, sir, it's great to be conversing with you again. Now that we can see each other.
Yes.
I would like to thank you for helping me out with the previous device I tried to build. I felt more confident and it was really a great help.
Good, good. And have you made progress since we last spoke? How are you nearly? Have you still to start this work?
It's still under manufacturing and I'm currently waiting for the food to arrive.
Okay, good. Well, I was glad that we could have that conversation and find a solution. So keep me posted on the outcome. Thank you.
Yes, I will update you on that. So, I would like to ask you, sir, how long have you been working with us, Exceed?
Okay, well, I've been with Blatchford's for over 5 years, but I know that the relationship between Blatchford and Exceed goes back much, much further than that time. And in the past, we had ex-employees of Blatchford's working in the Exceed group. So the link between Blatchford's and Exceed is historically strong. So I think it goes back over 10 years easily. I couldn't tell you the exact time, but in excess of 10 years, yes.
Yes. It's great to work with such a strong band.
Yeah, thank you.
And that goes with my next question, sir. What can you say or how is Exceed as a partner?
Okay, good. Well, this is an interesting question. So in my earlier answer, I spoke about how we were working in many different markets, the European market, place varies from European country to European country. The Middle East market is very different, and I know the market in the Philippines and in other Asian countries is again completely different from what we see in other places of the world. I think we've got a great history in the Sri Lankan market and a very strong relationship there with the Exceed group. Sales very strong, and the clinics know our brand very, very well. And that's just because maybe that was the first market we really focused on. I think if we look at some of the other locations for Exceed, like in the Philippines or in Myanmar or Cambodia, there's still a lot of development work still to be done. We've still got some work to do, spreading the word, letting the wider market know about our products and some of the benefits. So it's an ongoing task. You know, we're always on this journey. We're always working to move forward, and it will just take time. But I'm very pleased with the progress that we've made together, and will continue to make together.
Thank you, sir. How about what certain materials or components have you been supplying Exceed? Or are there certain components that seems to be like in such a demand that is being purchased often?
Sure. Okay. Well, looking back at our historical sales, probably the two big products that we've always had great success with. The first one is a relatively old design. This is called the Multiflex foot. So this was a development from Blatchford's, and it had a very nice multi-axial ankle joint. So this gives the patient more freedom, more ankle movement into the normal anatomical range. So they have plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, but also medial lateral movement. So if the walking surface is not perfectly flat, if there's a crack in the sidewalk or they're walking on uneven grass, the foot conforms to the underlying surface and gives them a more comfortable gait pattern. So this has always been a very popular and demanded foot in the Exceed markets, and I see that carrying on. It's also a very economical foot, but more than economical, it's durable. So in your climate where the humidity and the heat can be high, where people have a preference sometimes for wearing open toe shoes, etc. So the foot can get scuffed or come into contact with more dust and dirt. It's a very durable foot, and it's proven itself to last very well in these hot, humid climates. And then the second product is we've been doing very well recently with our Esprit foot. So this is a carbon fiber foot. So the patient gets a higher energy return from some of the simpler non-carbon feet. So there's more energy returned throughout the gait cycle to the user, and at the end of the day they can feel less fatigued just because there's more energy return during the gait cycle. And this is very low profile, again very durable, and low maintenance. It gives them a very nice feeling. So in short summary, Multiflex, very good entry-level foot with very nice ankle movement. And then if somebody's moving up to a more active foot, the Esprit, with its energy return, has been very popular.
Thank you, sir. I agree with most of the things you have mentioned. It's great that Multiflex have progressed, or there was an improvement with the design and the mechanics.
Yeah, well, sorry, I was just going to say that when I first started my clinical work, so this is going back to 1992, the Multiflex foot was probably our #1 prescription foot in the UK. So many of our patients were wearing this foot. So it shows you that the design is not new, but it shows you that it's a very good design, and it's still being used today throughout the world.
Yes, but it has some improvement with the design, such as having the sandal toe, which is good.
Yes.
I also have tried working using the Esprit. I agree that it's like a second level foot after the Multiflex. They're both giving great aid for the mobility.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the Esprit works in a very nice way because the toe spring is independent from the heel spring, and there are other carbon feet on the market, but they generally link the toe spring and the heel spring together. And we strongly believe that keeping them separate is better for getting the correct response at different parts of the gait cycle. So if they're joined together, the heel spring and the toe spring can be fighting against one another. But if you keep them separate, they can react correctly at heel strike, at mid stance, and at toe off.
Okay, sir. So that leads to my last question. What other products are you keen on supplying with Exceed?
Okay, well, in the future, I'd love to see more exposure of our hydraulic ankle range into Exceed. So this develops the foot range a little bit further. We still have the carbon fiber springs, but now we have a free flowing hydraulic ankle mounted on top of the carbon fiber springs. And this gives the user, and I've heard this directly from users, they get this impression that they have their ankle back. So if they're standing on a slope, the foot repositions itself automatically just by the position of the user's weight. So it's free flowing, adjusts constantly to the patient's gait and the patient's terrain. And I know we have had some success already in the Philippines with this particular style of feet. They've already been prescribed and used in a number of cases. So for the future, you know, as word spreads, maybe we'll see some more of those in Manila and the Philippines.
Yes, sir. Maybe we need more convincing powers on for the sales of the hydraulic ankle range.
Sure. Well, there's this particular range of feet has been highly researched independently. So it's not Blatchford research, it's, you know, clinical scientists in the universities and research centres doing independent studies. And actually all that information is on our website, showing the benefits, showing the improvements in walking speed, in comfort. It's all documented. So yeah, we'll keep spreading the word and talking about the clinical benefits.
Thank you, sir.
So,
I'll give the floor to Carla.
Okay.
hi, sir. So,
Hi.
with line with the products, so we talk about the products you supplied to Exceed and what's the most common. Is there any new product in development in Blatchford or
Yeah. Yeah, we are always working on, new things, and the trouble with the new product pipeline is I can't tell you too much about it. So it's a little bit secret at the moment. I'm hoping maybe around December, January, so in the next 2 to 3 months, we'll have some new developments we can share with you. But for now, I have to say it's top secret and I can't tell you too much. The one thing I can say is that the big focus from our R&D team at the moment is on providing the best clinical outcome for our amputees. So any products that we bring to the market in the future will all be about improving and providing superior clinical outcomes for the patient. So it will be validated and proven before it reaches your clinic.
I hope that we'll have the
So sorry, Carla. And the other thing you can expect is probably, expect more new technologies to be incorporated in the products. So, we'll be looking at new materials, new ways of controlling products. So everything is going to be latest technology.
Then we'll look forward to the future for new stuff and hope for our patients and enjoy and hope to get those. Based on that, what makes your company better than the rest?
Okay, that's another good question. I don't start my day thinking that we're better than anybody else. I just like to think that we're different, and I don't take any elitist opinion that we're better than anybody else. I think we've all got something to learn. So I look at some of our competitors in the market, and I like to learn from the information that they share. So we're approaching this just with our own philosophy, and the one thing I can say is that we always validate our products. So again, there's a very large section on our website that looks specifically at the scientific benefits of our product. So we don't bring a product to market and say, this is great, you must try this. There's always some clinical or scientific rationale behind the product backing it up. So I think that would be how we would like to differentiate ourselves. Anything that we bring to market is tested, validated, and scientifically proven.
Thank you, sir. Well, I think based on our experience that that's part of the science. So safety of the patient is very important because of it. And my last question is, what can we expect from Blatchford or you in the near future? Or that's my last question.
Sure. Okay. Well, just prepare yourself for more surprises. Blatchford's has been in business for over 125 years. We've had a number of, breakthrough products with new technology. We were the first to market with hydraulic ankles. We were the first to market with a a microprocessor controlled knee joint back in the 80s, 90s. So all I can say is expect the unexpected, and we'll, be pushing on with improving amputees' lives for many more years to come.
And that's it for me. And I agree with that. And hope we could expect more for our PWDs and amputees.
Yeah, yeah. Prepare yourself for some surprises. Yeah.
Well, okay. I think that's all. Toby,
Yeah, that's all the questions, sir. If you want to see more about yourself or about Blatchford, I think it would be also good for them to know more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, listen, it's been great talking to you guys, and just take any opportunity you have to drop into our website, www.blatchford.co.uk. There's some great product information there. There's some great videos, testimonials, and there's all the scientific papers that you can access as well. So that's a great resource, not only for you in the clinic, but for the amputees if they want to learn more.
Yes, thank you about that. Yeah, the websites of especially our suppliers are very helpful. Patients actually look at them first before getting in contact with us, asking about specific components. We actually had a patient before that call that was asking for a hydraulic ankle. So he was really keen on it. Also, other patients with the silicone liners, different kind of knees. Yes, so when they search the internet, one of the brands they always see is Blatchford with Endolite.
Yeah, great.
I think that's all from us.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you all very much. It's been great talking to you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. And also it's we didn't know that you worked before with Steeper, which we actually use quite a lot with our upper limb patients.
Yeah, I was there for quite a few years. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been all over the UK working in Swansea and Bristol, London.
Yeah. So yeah, that it seems like a long time ago, but it was happy years. I had a good time and good experience. It was I learned a lot in those first few years.
Yes. Yeah. So in behalf of Exceed, I would like to say thank you for providing us with this opportunity to have a quick talk with you and to know more about you, and also with knowing more about Blatchford and what we can actually expect from you guys in the near future.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks again, and keep in touch. We'll talk again soon.
Yes, we will keep you updated with Celine's patient. Yes, the patient is very keen on trying the foot already. He's been asking on when will the foot arrive actually.
Yeah, well, take a short video or something. I want to see how you get on.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I
Thank
will.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll say goodbye now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.